welcome back to RachandBella Crafts. Rachel here. I hope you're all well. So today we are on day 51. Yay! We are over the hump, over the hurdle of our 100 days project. So today, if I was going to think of a name for this video, it would be titled "Bring All the Scraps," because that's what you need to do for this this activity today. Oh my gosh, look at my hands. Sorry, that's ink, not anything else. So no, this is the time. Grab your paper scraps, grab your vellum scraps, grab your lace scraps, grab your fabric scraps, and any other scraps that you might have lying around, because you can use them for this project today. So first of all, what we're going to do, we're going to make some like little notelets with like hidden, kind of like hide the fact that you can write in them, kind of, so they're hidden writing spots basically. But I love making these, and because I obviously was embossing papers yesterday, whenever I emboss papers I was thinking, oh, I want to make some of those. So I just love all this yumminess in here, and these are perfect for using for this project. But if you don't have an embossing folder, you know, if you don't have an embosser, that's fine. You can do this with your paper scraps, with your book pages as they are. They will still look just as beautiful, I promise you. So I have got here in front of me, I'll show you the fabrics first because they're in front of me. I have got some different selections of lace. I have got different colours. I have got different textiles, textures even, and also different levels of see-throughness, transparency, that's the word, not see-throughness. Okay, so that's that pile there. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna have to put some hand cream on. Hands are a mess now. We've just had the most dramatic last couple of hours. Sat there quietly minding my own business, had the heart taking the dogs out for a walk, and then he rings, he's lost one of the dogs. Oh, mood breaks left. So I'll jump in the car, grab Dan. Come on, we're gonna have to go up the field and look. Well, of course, he was afraid she'd gone down to the river and had hurt herself, so I had my wellies on. I've been traipsing down the river looking for her everywhere. And in the end, then I suddenly had this bright idea. Oh, let's just put it on Facebook because there's a very good community page here. And I said, somebody, if you know, if anybody's up there walking their dog, because nobody seems to walk their dog these days without checking Facebook, or if they see her, she runs home or something, at least people know we're looking for her. So as it was, put it on Facebook. My amazing sister-in-law was sat at home checking for me, and literally within 20 minutes, somebody had found her. I was like, oh, thank heavens for that. Talk about drama. But my hands are all minging now, but that, I promise you that is distressing on my hands. It's not mud. I did wash my hands when I got back. Okay, so my other pile is fabrics. I've got a selection of different fabrics here, and these are literally just scraps I've had in my thing. They're nothing particularly special. That is off an old scarf I've cut up. These are just off, that's off a sample that I had. And then I've got this nice bit here as well, but again, they're nothing, you know, fancy. And then I've also got some printed fabric. Bella did these for me a little while ago. These are one of our kits. Oh my goodness, I can't even think which one this is from now. I want to say Wispy Wings. I think it is Wispy Wings because it's the fairies with the wings. Gosh, did I make this? Oh, I love that image. Right, so that's those as well. So basically you can use anything. Fabric, whatever's in your little scrap box. Scraps of lace. Doesn't matter if you cut it. In fact, the one I've got here is actually, this is like net curtain stuff, this one here. And that is off like a huge piece of something that came from Wish like 3 years ago. So again, this is nothing fancy. It's not, you know, old, but we're going to just make it look good. So here next to me now, I've got this humongous pile of different types of scraps. So I'm going to just really quickly show you what I've got so you can see what I'm working with. Obviously I'm working with leftover bits of the kits we're currently working with, but I'm going to just quickly sort through them, and as I sort through them I'm going to be looking at them and thinking, botanical, shabby chic, vintage, steampunk. Okay, so you kind of see a theme erupting here now, because obviously I want to make these little writing spots. I'm challenging myself to try and do it in different styles. Now, some of these papers may cross over, which I figure will be interesting to see. Botanical. But yeah, it'll just be good to see how we can use what we've got, but how it does cross over into the different styles, and you know, dependent on the way we use them. So for example, this has got lots of lovely roses on it. Shabby chic, yes, you may think you'd like to do that. This has got lots of leaves on it, again, and roses and flowers, so botanical. However, this bit here has got an old piece of writing paper on it, so I'm thinking, well, actually that could cross over into the vintage, so we'll put that in the vintage pile. So there we go, that should be in there. Now, I'm starting a little pile here now for steampunk, and I'm thinking I like these very dark backgrounds here. There's actually a light bulb on this, that's quite steampunkish. So that's why that's in that pile there. But again, obviously that could cross over with what's this? Vintage again. So, you know, some of these things are going to have multi-use. Botanical, but could also be vintage. Just put that one there. So just sort through your papers really quick and see what you've got there, and then see where you feel that they fit best. And then we will use them then. That's quite shabby chic. They're quite shabby chic. And anything then that's neutral. Actually, I'm going to keep all of the neutral papers separately because they're going to be our fillers for our writing paper. Botanical, but that could be vintagey too because of the thing. I'm going to say vintage for those guys. These are neutrals. These are neutrals. Ah, remember these? That was that napkin I put down. So again, that's very shabby chic, isn't it? That's kind of botanical. But again, we could also have a little bit in with the vintage. I don't think that I'm going to cut that with steampunk somehow. That's just not going to have it. But this one here with script, again, could have that in vintage or, what's it called? Steampunk. And then we've got these, which are clearly botanicals. We've got vintage papers. I'm going to put those in the shabby chic, definitely, not shabby chic, what's that, steampunk, because there's numbers on it, so that will kind of hopefully get rid of that. These are neutrals, botanical, that's old. I think she's quite shabby chic. Botanical, vintage, bit of both. Steampunk and vintage, and they are botanical. There we go. Right, so that's sorted my papers now. I've got 4 piles of papers, so now I know. So you've kind of gotten an idea of what I personally would consider. That's just working with my current stash. Obviously your own will look different, but again, just looking at different colours and toning and seeing, you know, how you can work them. So I've got my pile here of neutrals, and then I'm going to grab, I'm just going to tear some of these down a minute. There with, because I love these pages, and I really want to try and work some of these into the fronts. There we go. So perhaps we could pop that one on steampunk look, and then that one on vintage with the photos. It's just trying to utilise what you've got, really. Work with what you've got, and then, you know, see what you can come up with, really. And how you can make it work for you, because obviously we don't all have everything, especially if you are used to working to a specific style, but it's knowing that you can at least try and create something else with what you've got. So I have got here now some what is this called again? Embossed papers. Lots of different types in here, so obviously perhaps these are going to be a bit more shabby chic like because they're quite light and florally maybe, whereas that I would definitely say is more vintagey. It's like a vintage wallpaper, plus the paper that is being used is very vintagey. That you could cross over, you see, either one or t'other, so we could have that as botanical, definitely botanical for that one. I'm going to pop that one into steampunk just because it's a bit of text there and it's oldie. Might pop that one in there as well. Perhaps I'll pop that one on there too, because I don't have a huge amount of steampunk stuff here really for, oh, here we are. What have we got here? We've got an airplane. We've got, I can't see what that is. Nope, I can't see what that is. But these are pretty interesting, some of these on here. So maybe these could go over into the steampunk pile. Because there seems to be some transport stuff on there, doesn't there? So, right, we'll pop that over there and we'll come to that. Botanical words. I can't see if there's anything relevant on there. Gosh, that's always risky. Railing. Oh, railway I could have done with there, look. It's always risky reading. Oh, rails, horse and carts. Right, that'll do. You're steampunk. What's on the back of there? I can... Da, 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 da. Royal Engineers. Perfect. Steampunk. There we go. And they can go into shabby chic. Right, that'll do us. Okay. Right. Let's get cracking, as they say. Oh, we'll have that one for steampunk as well, I think. Those colours. Yes, marvellous. Marvellous. Right. Okay. Stop now, Rachel. Stop. Right. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to try and plough through these now as quick as we possibly can. So let's start with the botanical, shall we? So I'm going to kind of lay them out. I'm trying to do a few at a time, just to kind of save time. It does not matter the size of these, okay? We're just making little notebooks or notelets. They're not notebooks because to me a book would shut, whereas a notelet tends to be like a little flappy open thing, doesn't it? Just my personal interpretation there. Please don't quote me. I could try and do 3 in each style. What do you think? So if we layer them with perhaps a bit of that on there. Now these are perfect for using at things. Don't worry if you've got, you know, like where your printing is left, that if you haven't taken the top off, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It'll all be fine. It can all be used. And you know, most of it's going to be covered over on the top end anyway. So there's a botanical book page there. Quite a nice addition. We'll work out now which order to put them in on the thing. I'm just thinking, let's just make some piles. Right, I think that's enough of those now. Okay, let's pop that pile over there because I don't have to resort them. Right, so if I layer that like that, and then perhaps we can layer that. So do you see what I mean? Because I've kind of covered that over on the top now anyway. But the more layering, the better, really. Oh, needed a bit more on there. What else have I got here? So you see, you know, you make quite a pile of it, but it soon goes down once you start layering one on top of the other. Because obviously my pages are mostly blank on the back, so you know, we've got that there then to flip over and write on. Now, do I want to put, this is the question, let me just do that one now. So we've got book page there, we've got a torn page there, and maybe I'll just go over it with that one there. This is not the kind of project you need to really be worrying about inking. That's just faff that you haven't really got time for. And don't worry if you're covering stuff over, because you're not going to see any of it anyway, so it's all going to be about what we flip out afterwards and what you can see then as you're flipping them open. So there we go. Right, so let's pop that over the top of there now. Now the nice thing about it is, because of the way I've layered these, the different lengths, you can still see most part of it anyway, so it's not going to be too covered over. So pop that one on top of there, because it's great if you can make them all look a little bit unique, a bit different. I need something on top of this one. What have we got here? Anything particularly botanical in there? Bit more shabby chic, that one, isn't it? Ooh, hang on, we've got some green stuff here. Right, what did I spray? Aha! That's very botanical, isn't it? Let's go with that one, shall we? And maybe that one there. I'll put that one on there. there. No, I don't want to cover that. No, I need to cover that because it's not right. That's better. And then this one here is probably as much shabby chic as it is botanical, but I don't care, I like it, so I'm going to work with it. Right, now we need to think fabrics. Perhaps I should have started with fabric, I don't know. So I'm kind of, for botanical, it can go one of two ways. You can either go flowery, or you're going to go like grungy, really, aren't you? It's going to be one or t'other. I'm just thinking now, do I want to put that over the top there or on the back? I think I'm going to put it on the back. So I can see me trimming that down because that's annoying me a tad. Now, obviously, once you start putting together, if you want to trim your papers down, you know, that's the time when you're going to know, like, this is bugging me a bit. I kind of want to just break this in half. It's too much. But on the other hand, you know, yeah, that's a bit more like it. Right, okay. Okay. What am I after now? Lace. Let's see what lace we've got here. Oh no, I tell you what I haven't put on. Writing papers. Right, so I've got my blanks here now. Plain kind of stuff. So I've got some handmade papers, which might be quite nice and botanical. But obviously you need something to indicate you're going to write, don't you? I've got some coffee dye paper, and I've got a thingamajigamy. That makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to just stash that in there. I really, really, really would like that to come forward, because I think that's my... It doesn't matter where your writing bit goes, as long as there's a bit in there that you can write in. That's the main thing. I think I'm going to take that off there, because I want that on show there. That's it. Okay, and then I've also got a bit of brown paper bag, so I think I might pop that further back. So this is obviously just to give you an idea of all the different types of scraps that you can be putting in here. I'm literally throwing everything at these today, because I just think the more you can build up on it, the more interesting it's going to become, isn't it? I'm going to put my writing paper further back here. And then let me just top tap the top of that. There we go. Very nice. And then the same with this one here. I'm going to snaffle that back there. And then I'm going to pop a bit of coffee dye on top. And then tap, tap, tap these. They can go out then over the top. Spread it out so that it covers the width. I think I'm going to turn that one around. Straighten that up a minute. Oh, the minute you start touching one, everything moves, doesn't it? Stay still. There we go. Okay. So what's last? Lace. Need lace now. Now, I did pick this one up because it was quite botanically, I thought, with the flowers on. But it's too wide. Where's my scissors? So I'm going to cut this in half. Which does seem a bit criminal, but there we go. Just do it. Just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Right. There we go. So I'm going to just plonk that over the top there. And I'm going to plop that over the top there. I've only had that one piece of that particular lace, so I'm going to put a little sifty in my box now and see what we've got in here. See if there's anything in here of use. What's in my bird catchers? What about this? Now you all know where my lace is, right above me. Quite handy up there actually. What's this I've got here? I'm not quite sure I approve of tying lace up with sellotape, but there we are. Perhaps we'll have a bit of that on there. Oh my gosh, this is the only trouble when you get out all the scraps. You keep losing everything because you've got so much stuff on your desk. Right. Okay, so now you've seen my... Oh, it's too short, too long. Now you've seen my process. I'm going to whizzle through and set up the others, and I will show you them all then before I put them together finally then, so you can see them. All right, so 2 seconds. Okay, so I have 4 piles of notelets now with lots of hidden secret writing space in, and I have tried my very best to work with what I've got in my scraps to find some way to develop each individual style. So let's start with the botanical, because that's what we started with. What I done with these, just to secure them into place, I have simply just stitched across the top, and the fabric that I put on the back I have bent over and then bent back, and that then provides me with a nice little thing at the top there, and then obviously you can leaf through. You've got then writing space at the back on the backs of these, but obviously from the front, if anybody's looking through your lovely journal, they will just think, oh, there's a nice little notepad of scraps there with a bit of fabric on, blah blah blah. But you can actually then obviously write underneath all of those and nobody will know it's there. So like I say, with the botanicals, I've tried to go with earthy tones, greens, anything with leaves on. I've got some brown paper in there. I've got some kind of browny, khaki coloured Boys Aloud. And then on the back, because I ran out of fabrics, I actually put together 2 of these. I don't know what these are. I've had these ages, but they're definitely botanical. And they're like cheesecloth kind of stuff. They came on a big reel thing in one of the cheap shops. And then this one again, I just used that thin botanical stuff there, and we've got obviously Edith Holden. We've got a botanical book page, writing space there, and then of course the backs of them are clear. And then on the back then I got this lovely bit of fabric which I've brought down over the top as well. So that's the botanical done, sorted. Right, shabby chic. Shabby chic obviously was going to be pastels and laces, and I think I've managed to achieve that. The only thing I'm going to say here, I don't know if you've spotted the mistake I've made. It wasn't a mistake. I was just too lazy to change the thread in my sewing machine. So sorry about that. But really that thread should be white or pink. But I just, was up against it. I just couldn't be bothered to change the thing. So I thought, well, I'm sure you'll all forgive me. But yeah, but really ideally a thread would be white and pink. But you can see the colours, the different types of, I've used papers that have got like lace on them. I've got my nice white embossed papers in there. Got some beautiful pinks there. Bit of handmade pink paper. Yep. And again, just pastel-y colours. And then on the back, I've got that lovely printed fabric. And they are all pretty much, and I just layered some laces over the front. But again, you wouldn't know if there was writing in there. And again, the same here. Just cute, shabby papers. And again, the same then with this one here. So that was our shabby chic selection. On then to the vintage. Now, it was quite hard to get a difference between vintage and steampunk, because obviously I wasn't going to actually put the elements on, because the elements will come after. So if you want to put things on the tops or wherever to show steampunk images, but you don't have to. At the end of the day, it's meant to just be little scrappy noteblocks for you to put in, so you've got somewhere to write. But I just went with everything that just looked oldie, as in kind of handwritten music papers, things like that for vintage. Some old vintage lace, and again the same here, a bit of photographs that's left over, music paper, just handwritten stuff, book page, an old bit of fabric on the back, and again then with a bit of brown lace there, photograph, handwritten, just those kind of colours. Similar kind of colour palette to the steampunk, but for the steampunk I actually had this black embroidery anglaise I bought in the market the other day, so I added that to the top just to give it a bit more of a punky edge, and then went with, like, rather than putting proper photos in, just kind of went with the rough edge of everything, to kind of make it feel a bit more work, business, industrial. Went with a bit of graph paper, got an aeroplane there, we got the inkwell, scissors, there was a light bulb there somewhere, you know, just all those kind of things. And I got some cheesecloth there that I've just inked with the Distress Oxide, hence why it's all over my fingers earlier. And again here, when I did my embossing, I've sprayed dark coloured inks on there. So again, like I say, this could be taken either way. You could perhaps make it more vintage and then use it in your vintage thing, but doesn't hurt to have them crossing over. So there we are, guys. That's your little challenge for today. Get all your scraps out and let's see what you can create and see what themes and styles, rather, you can capture with the different different papers and different scraps and things that you've got there. So I hope you enjoyed that today. I hope it didn't bore you too much and me shooting off, but I just thought, obviously, once you'd seen how it went together, it was just important more so for you to see at the end how they looked. So have fun, and don't forget to put your pictures up in the group, and I'll be back tomorrow. See you soon. Bye now.